I just made over $1 million in the last 30 days. Now, this wasn't just some string of luck. My name is Fous. I've been trading for the last 20 years. All I had to do was follow a simple framework that is very easy to understand, and this repeats itself every single bull market. Last bull market, I turned 20K into $1.7 million in trading profits, but that took me 420 days. This time around, I'm already up over $1 million, taking 84K into 1.4 million in literally just the last 30 days alone. And I'm gonna show you exact proof of this by logging into my account and showing you. Now listen, if you're not completely locked into crypto right now, if you're not sitting at your computer studying and preparing for what is to come, you are going to make the biggest mistake of your life, because there is still so much opportunity to be had. So you need to keep watching this video, because I'm going to explain in full detail the exact process for timing the market cycles. This is where everyone gets it wrong. They miss time. Just for instance, yesterday I told everyone in my group saying, hey guys, we need to prepare for a liquidation event. And what happened the day following? All of a sudden, everything dumped 30% just like that. Most people got wiped out, where we positioned ourselves to take that as an opportunity. So in today's video, guys, I'm gonna get you fully prepared, not only for this bull market, but using this framework, you can make millions on every bull market to come. So lock in, grab your notepad, and get ready. Let's go. All right, guys, we have 6 things we need to talk about today. First and foremost, I'm gonna show you inside of my account. It's not some stupid MT5 screen recording. This is literally inside of a real Bybit account where I deposited $220,000 just a few months ago. It dropped to 84K and now it's worth 1.2 million after peaking out at about 1.4 million. Step 2, we're going to talk about how to understand the market cycles using this simple to follow 4-phase framework. It literally repeats itself time and time again. We're going to go all the way back to 2013 and look at Bitcoin and watch this literally play out time and time again. So if you understand this framework, it's literally going to help you see what's coming before it actually happens and allow you to time the market so you can get in and get out and make massive amounts of money, rather than lose it all on the way down, because crypto dumps 80 to 90% every single time after the bull market. Next up, we're going to talk about where we are in today's market cycle. Now, this is going to be relevant to today's market, but I want this video to be timeless so you can see exactly what I talk about today and see where the market goes from here into the future and how this actual framework played out. Topic number 4 is risk management strategy. I'm going to show you how to get better entries and better exits on all your crypto positions so you can maximize your gains and minimize your losses. After that, I'm going to talk about the exit plan from crypto. What should you do? Should you continue to hold money in crypto, or should you exit out into fiat and buy real tangible assets, such as me building multiple homes in Bali, having multiple pieces of land, as well as I have other future real estate plans for getting out of this crypto bull market and then dumping it into real tangible assets such as real estate. Most people hold on to crypto and then end up losing it all and have nothing at the end of the bull run. And finally, to top it off, you're definitely gonna want to stick out to the end, because I'm gonna give you my favorite altcoins that I'm in right now or looking to buy into if we do see a dip opportunity to get into. So strap in, let's get to it and get started on these topics. All right, guys, let's just take a look at what's going on here. First and foremost, Bitcoin just tapped into 100K. We have to understand that the market might pull back from here. But let's go right into my Bybit trading account, okay? If we look at the last 30 days, you can see my cumulative P&L is 930,000. This was literally just 1.2 yesterday. Now it just updated because the market did just dump. We saw the liquidation event across the board. In a lot of these altcoins, we saw a lot of things dump pretty hard, especially look at this massive dump. This is the kind of danger that is arising all the time in crypto. What people don't understand, as price continues to pump into these high levels, more and more traders are building up long leverage accounts that are just maxing out, going long, and eventually till that system breaks. But this went right into a perfect supply zone. As we can see, this is others. The total market cap, excluding the top 10, we can see price go right into this weekly supply. And then the system breaks because there's so many leveraged longs. And you have to understand that this is something that comes into fruition every single time. I warned everyone inside of the Wolfpack group yesterday. I said, hey guys, definitely potentially about to happen. So we need to be prepared so that we don't get wiped out during this, but we can actually buy the dip on this. And that's what we did. We bought the dip on some coins, sniping some positions right in that zone as we dipped. But let's just continue looking at this account just to show proof of what's actually happening. So you can see we did see a big sell-off, negative 273,000 in my account after that liquidation event. But we locked in a lot of gains along the way. You can see total assets is still 1.16 million in this account. You can actually see here, here's just the account being zero. This is a brand new account. I said, okay, Trump's about to win the election. If he does, that is going to be the catalyst for the next bull run. Not only just on that being the catalyst, the charts were already in the correct part of the market phase, but the Trump win was the catalyst that broke us out into the next level and actually triggered this phase from actually happening. So you can see me having nothing in this account and depositing $224,000 on October 1st. Didn't really do much, and I started loading up pre-election. You can see right into the election, the market dumped, and I actually got stopped on a few things. And this dropped as low as $84,000, and then just continued to ramp up here, all the way as high as $1.4 million yesterday, and now we're down at about 1.2 today after that first liquidation event. So this wasn't just some string of luck. Yes, did I over leverage slightly more than usual? I did, but there was the catalyst there from Trump potentially winning the election, as well as the market cycle was in the exact opportunity to see a massive move. And that's what we saw in the last 30 days, which allowed me to turn basically 84K into 1.2, 1.4 million in just 30 days. Now, this is just getting started in the market. I do think we have more potential upside from here. But I think there has been a lot of easy money that has just been made right now. And now with the first liquidation event that we saw in the market, now things are going to get a little bit trickier. And this is where a lot of people get into trouble. So let's go into the actual market phases and see how we can time this a little bit better and understand where we are now. Hey guys, before we get started, I just wanted to offer you access to my exclusive Wolfpack Discord group that's now based on WAP. Basically what you're gonna get in here is something I call the Quantum Cipher Report. This allows you to steal and copy all of my trades and learn my exact trading system. Every Monday, I'm gonna give you the best crypto altcoin picks that are getting ready for explosive moves. I'm also going to give you the best trade setups in forex, futures, and CFDs as well. You have to be a multi-asset trader if you truly want to take advantage of the entire trading environment as a whole. Not only that, you're going to get access to the Discord, all of my courses, over 30 hours of recorded educational content, in addition to my TradingView degenerate indicators. Okay, so if you want access to my WAP, there's going to be a link below. Join the Wolfpack and get all of the best trading picks in crypto, forex, and futures sent to you every Monday. On top of that, 30 hours of educational content so you can learn my entire system, all for one low monthly price. I'll see you there. All right, guys, so there's three phases of the market cycle. First and foremost, let's just start about when it ends. The market cycles typically always end with a breakdown of the 50-day moving average in the market on Bitcoin. Now, this is just like, seems so simple and stupid. Like, is that really all you got to look for is a 50-day moving average breakdown? And that's it? Pretty much. It's not perfect, but it gives you a pretty big baseline for this actually being the end of every bull market after a huge run, right? It doesn't matter. A 50-day moving average can break at any time, but if a 50-day moving average breaks after a massive parabolic move in Bitcoin, that typically has shown a end of the bull market or nearing end of the bull market, and then we dump 80 to 90% in the market. Now, following that, we need to look for what is called a revival pattern. A lot of people try to look for this pattern way too early, or just try to keep buying this dip and this wondering why the dip just keeps on dipping. And most people give up all of their gains from the bull market in the bear market. So when you see that 50-day moving average breakdown after an epic run, you really need to start thinking about, is this the end, and should I start getting out of the market because we could be dumping 70 to 90%. But most of the time, nobody ever wants to accept that a bear market could even be a thing. They want to believe it in a hodl and up only, and then eventually they lose everything. And the problem is most people are going out on leverage. If you're just holding spot for a hodl, you don't get liquidated because it's spot. But if you have any sort of leverage, that is where you get wiped out and lose your money extremely fast on the way down. So looking at the first pattern, which is phase one of the continuation of a new bull market, it's called the revival pattern. Typically what you see is a lead end trend that is super bearish, followed by a three-phase breakout triangle pattern, and that is the initial push of the actual bull market. Now, we saw this in multiple areas, and we actually have seen Bitcoin in a different phase than where Ethereum, and all the other altcoins are. So that is phase one. Phase two is the survival after the first initial pump from the actual revival. Then phase three, we have the force pattern breakout, which is a flat top triangle breakout that is then going parabolic to the sky, all-time highs. There's no resistance ahead until the 50-day moving average breaks. The 50-day moving average breaks down again, and then we see a 70 to 90% drop in the markets. So that is just a framework that I've been using in the stock market since 2005. Okay, I'm not a crypto trader by trade, or that. No pun intended there. But I started trading the US stock market in 2005, and this used to be called the Fous 4 trading system because it was 4 different patterns, the survival, revival, force, and then I had another one called the gold, which is specifically for a long-term breakout over $1. I migrated this into crypto in about 2019. That's when I turned 20K into 1.7 million during that bull market using this exact framework. Then basically everything went to shit, walked away, and then I built this house. I have 2 other houses right down the street here. I have 2 other pieces of land because I diversified out of crypto to try to not have so much money in crypto because everything dumps and it's very easy to lose money on the way down. But let's just take a look at Bitcoin and see if those cycles actually did play out. I actually have another illustration here from a student that re-illustrated this to make it look a little bit better. So basically, here's the top 50-day moving average breakdown. The bottom is the revival. Phase 2 is the survival. Phase 3 is the force pattern. So we also have to understand where are we in the current market, okay? And we'll look at that and where Bitcoin is now and where Ethereum is now. But let's just go all the way back here. We'll do the weekly chart so we can kind of get a little bit better view. Let's go back to 2013 and see how this played out, okay? So this is the daily chart, but we need the weekly chart for the 50-day moving average. It's the 50-day moving average on the daily chart. But we can see a little bit better picture of the actual patterns breaking out. So this was a force pattern breakout here to all-time highs on Bitcoin at 218. You can see it ran up all the way to 1,200. And then here is the lead-in trend, 80 to 90% drop, which is an 87% drop from the peak. That was a revival pattern breakout here, followed by survival, and then a force pattern breakout again that broke to all-time highs at about 1,200, and that led to this massive, monumental fucking run all the way up to freaking 18,000 on Bitcoin. But if we look at the daily chart here, that's because that's the weekly chart, you can see this run all the way up, and then there's the first test. Now, that's another thing that I want to consider here to let you guys know. It's typically not the first test of the 50-day moving average. There's usually one test, maybe 2 tests of the 50-day moving average, followed by a bounce, and then after that is the official breakdown of the 50-day moving average, and that's when you really see the end of the bull market, as we can see here, right? We had the force pattern breakout, retested 50-day moving average. It did break it right here. And then that was the retest for one more bounce. And then officially, once this really started rolling over the 50-day moving average, that was the end of the bull market. And it dropped 87% before it turned into revival, survival, and then another force pattern. So that was this one. Now let's take a look at this force pattern breakout that triggered here, right? Because this was the force pattern here. Next market peaked out, retested 50-day moving average, retested 50-day moving average, still officially breaking down the 50-day moving average here, and then followed by an 85% pullback in Bitcoin before finally forming a revival pattern. And then we actually had this kind of mishap of COVID that happened right here. That was a big COVID drop, followed by a survival breakout here, then finally a force pattern breakout that happened at 20K. From there, what happened? Price went parabolic, first test of the 50-day moving average, second test, then finally breaking down here, followed by a 60% drop here until finally it did actually reverse over it briefly, then broke the 50-day moving average again before finally dumping, I believe, about 70, 80, 90% yet again, 77% from the top before forming a revival here. And here you could call that also revival, then a survival pattern. And now we finally just broke out of phase 3 of the actual pattern yet again on crypto. Now we just need to watch out for the 50-day moving average. Now we haven't even tested it the first time yet, but I do expect that we will see at least 1 or 2 potential retests of the 50-day moving average in this cycle alone. It could be happening now after we first initially pumped from about 70K up to 100K before we retest the 50-day moving average and see another extended push to the upside. Again, I have no idea how high any of this stuff can go. it doesn't fucking matter to me. Most people try to give you some sort of target to give you some sort of fantasy. The problem with targets is that a lot of times targets are never met. And then you keep hodling to a target that was unreasonable and never even comes into fruition. But when you're following the trend, when you're looking at the 50-day moving average and understand this cycle, which I just showed you repeats itself time and time again, if the 50-day moving average breaks down after a parabolic move, especially after the first or two retests, it's a good time to consider this is the end of the bull market and I need to exit, because at impending 100% probability of a 70 to 90% move is coming, because that is what happened every single time. 100% of the time that has happened in the crypto markets. So you need to understand exactly where we are at. Right now, we are in the last phase of the crypto bull market cycle when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, if we look at Ethereum, we're in a little bit different side of the phase. Now, this is basically a little bit closer look at trading altcoins, right? Bitcoin can have a little bit of its own behavior outside of altcoin behavior. And I don't really trade Bitcoin. I mostly trade altcoins. And we can see that Ethereum was actually, you could say, is in a revival pattern right here. You could say this was essentially a revival pattern breakout here on Ethereum after this pump to the upside, broke the 50-day moving average. How far did it drop here? Dropped about 50% from that level. And now we could say that this is now in phase one. Now we're potentially having a survival pattern breakout here, and we still have yet to become a force pattern breakout, right? Force pattern breakout on Ethereum isn't up until about 5K. So there is still a lot of upside here potential when it comes to looking at where Ethereum is in its cycle versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin is already in phase 3. It has already broken out of its force pattern. Now it's just time. Who knows how long this trend will last, right? It doesn't matter. There's no target for this. It just keeps going up until it doesn't and until the trend breaks, okay? So I have no target in mind in Bitcoin that I'm like, okay, this is my exit plan when Bitcoin reaches 120K or 150K or 200K, because I have no idea. That's stupid to try to predict an exact number. That's just dumb. But if you follow trends, it'll tell you exactly when the trend has flipped, and now it's time to exit the market potentially and get out. Again, none of this is perfect. All we can do as traders is try to prepare for any and all scenarios and at least walk away with money. And the fact is, over 90%, 95% walk away with nothing because they don't understand market cycles, and they start buying Bitcoin at 100K or start buying up here and then go full on leverage and then get wiped out by these massive fucking liquidation events like we just saw here yesterday, okay? I don't want to get involved in a liquidation event. Look at this fucking candle on Ape, okay? What did we do? We bought an Ape all the way down here, rode it all the way up. I sold it for profits, and then I sold it and did not participate in this move. But guess what? I just bought in on the dip on this liquidation event, right? Because we want to turn liquidation events into opportunities as opposed to getting stopped out. And most people that have been sitting on the sidelines, they finally start getting enough balls to actually enter the market when things have already pumped, when things have gone parabolic. And then that's when the system breaks, because so many people start buying in on long leverage that the system eventually breaks. And all this is just a bunch of leverage longs being liquidated or stopped out all at one time, and you see a huge cascading event of massive sell orders. What we want to do is take advantage of those and have the ability to buy those dips rather than be part of this mass liquidation event and then get screwed over ourselves. So again, let's just recap this, guys. Where are we today in the cycle of Bitcoin? Right now, we are in phase 3 of Bitcoin. So we're already gone through phase 1, phase 2. We're now at the end of the actual cycle. It doesn't mean that it's coming to an end right now, but we have to be prepared for the fact that this is the last phase of the bull market cycle. But the best part about it is that this is where we do see a lot of things do super, super huge moves, because this is where we break out to all-time highs and there's no resistance ahead. So that's when we see some insane parabolic 10, 1000x moves in the market during this phase, okay? But that's Bitcoin's already a little bit in that phase right now. Ethereum is still in this phase 3 pre-breakout phase of the force pattern before it actually moves up. And that's a little bit more relatable to altcoins. So if you're watching this right now and you're in this market, there is still opportunity left. Now, if you're watching this in the future, This video is timeless and continually use this framework. I suggest screenshotting this. Actually, I'll put a link below so you can actually download this in the actual description and save it to your whatever, and always have this for reference when you're trading in the crypto market. All right, guys, let's just talk about risk management a little bit, because a lot of people are curious about, how do I know when to get in and when to get out? Well, it's this simple supply and demand. You buy in demand zones and you sell in supply zones, and you don't do anything else in between. Most people start buying when the momentum goes up, okay? And that's false. You want to sell when momentum goes up, and you want to buy if price comes back into a demand zone. Yes, there are such things as breakouts that we do trade, but typically what I like to do is buy into demand zones before something actually breaks out. Just for instance, right now, we can take a look at the Ethereum chart right now. Price just pumped all the way up into a supply zone. A supply zone is basically just a pivot level after a major run, and typically what you see is some sort of candle that looks like this, okay? You're gonna see a smaller body and extended wicks to the upside or downside, followed by exit liquidity of a strong candle outside of that zone, okay? And then for a demand zone, for a place to buy, you're gonna see likely a small body candle followed by some sort of extended whip to the upside. So now if price returns into that zone, we know that there's gonna be a lot of selling pressure there, because the only people who can push price this deep out of this level are institutional money. So the assumption is that there's still institutional money here that's ready to sell if price returns. Same thing goes on the other side, right? For demand. Just 1 second there, guys. You're probably wondering, where can you trade all these altcoins? There's this new broker called Blowfin, and it's actually a little bit mind-blowing, because not only do they have all the best altcoins to trade that you would see on your major exchanges, they also have a huge list of coins that aren't at the major exchanges. And it's sometimes those little nitty-gritty degenerate coins that have the biggest ROI and the biggest returns. Okay, so this is actually the platform. You can go into futures or trading spot. I trade both futures and spot, but it's actually a really, really sleek platform with a shitload of actual coins to trade on here to choose from. Okay, and that's one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of people face, is they don't have the coins that they want to trade. Blowfin has one of the widest array of altcoins to trade in both spot and futures. Another major thing about it is that there's no KYC registration required to actually trade, deposit, and withdraw on your account. That is one of the biggest hurdles for most traders out there. And so that is where Blowfin kind of stands out above the rest. Not only does it have a huge variety of coins, there's also no KYC required. So use my link below to get access to Blowfin. I promise you it's going to be a really good experience. And I do really like the platform, especially since there's so many variety of altcoins to trade. What are we trying to do? We're trying to find all the best opportunities. Check out Blowfin below. If we see a huge exit candle outside of a pivot zone, we could assume that institutional money was responsible for that exit out of that level. So then we can assume that if price returns into that level down here, in that zone, there's gonna be institutional demand that's still there, and that's an area to buy for the next leg up, okay? So that is just the simple framework for understanding supply and demand. So we only buy in demand and we only sell in supply. That will increase your win rate dramatically, because you're going to be getting in and getting out at the right time. Whereas retail always buys in supply here and gets wiped out, or buys in supply here and gets wiped out. Just like we saw yesterday, price came into supply, and then we saw a massive liquidation event where, looking at these fucking altcoins, right? Ethereum and Bitcoin are going to hold up much better, but we can see as soon as that selling came off in Ethereum, look at this price candle on Lumia, of which we made $180,000 on this trade. We got into Lumia down here. This ramped all the way up, and I sold it for $180,000. I'll show you screenshots. Also, there's 36 video testimonials in here from students. But if we go in here to Fous wins, all right, for one, we were up $355,000 yesterday on Super. It's now like $250 but we just sold more for $58,000. YGG, I sold it for $51,000. IMX for $51,000. You can see, look at YGG here. Where did I sell YGG? I sold YGG up here prior to this fucking dump, okay? We also sold IMX up here prior to this fucking dump, okay? Right, secure the fucking bag is what I said here. Out of IMX for juicy gains. That's a wrap on YGG. Zeta, where's my freaking Lumia? I just recently opened my own channel for wins, but we have the Wolf wins here as well. This is where all the students here in the Wolfpack are posting their gains. So here's some other ones. Ape, I sold for 54,000. Ondo, 64,000. Order, we made $93,000 in literally fucking 2 minutes. Here's my watch that I'm selling. AIOZ Lumia. Let's go to P&L. You can see my exit there. Selling price on that fucking spike. Closed positions on Lumia. $180,000. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. $180,000 on Lumia. In at 130. Average exit at 212. This is why you want to understand that when price gets into those levels, you also have to understand that the analysis comes top down from Bitcoin and Ethereum. So your altcoin might look like it's down here in this great area to buy, but Ethereum might be at the fucking supply zone telling you, hey guys, we just went on an epic run and Ethereum's getting ready to dump potentially out of this level. Whereas your altcoin might have done nothing that entire time and now finally just starting to break out here now. That is the wrong time to be buying your altcoin because Ethereum is at a max peak level where it could be coming up on a potential massive pullback and your altcoin's going to get absolutely smashed. So while I do have some core positions, I did lock in gains on a lot of these positions, such as Lumia here. We can see we dumped Lumia on that spike there, $180,000 profit. Okay, so it's important that you're locking in gains and you're understanding that these liquidation events happen and you don't want to be part of them. And also, you don't want to be buying at supply. Where was Ethereum? Ethereum was at supply. This is the wrong fucking time to be buying, and you can see what happens if you buy when Ethereum or any other major coin like Bitcoin or Ethereum or looking at others is at supply. That's when you see the massive liquidation events. And you need to understand that. So now where would you be buying? Well, you would be looking for an area of demand, of which if we look at the daily chart here, there's multiple levels, right? And I said this in the Discord group. Someone asked me, how far do you think we could be going down on Ethereum, right? And you can see here, this is me yesterday before this dump actually happened. I said, listen, guys, both ETH and others are at major supply levels after mega runs. It's hard to say what's going to happen, but we have to be prepared for that 15 to 20% pullback. You don't want to be in a position where that 15 to 20% pullback wipes you out. You want to be in a position where you can scoop up new opportunities if prices come back into a demand zone to buy, rather than most people are going to be buying into supply. So this was the actual chart when that was happening. ETH on the weekly chart was into supply, looking for that pullback into demand. And then this is the actual daily chart that I posted when someone asked how far much more can we go. You can see Ethereum is actually at demand here now, but there's two other levels that we have to prepare for. When it comes to trading, there's no fucking like one size fits all. There's different areas that you have to look at. So based on those principles that we had, what do we have? We have a small body, wide wick with the exit candle. That's an area of demand, right? So that's demand zone 1. We have a small body with the exit liquidity candle there. That's also another demand area, right? So that's another area that price could come into. Also, we have another flip zone because this level right here, so that increases the strength of that level. But we also have this whole level right here, which is weekly demand. Weekly demand is going to be stronger than daily demand. So this level will be the strongest level, then this level, and then the first level that we have, which it first initially stopped its sell-off of, is right here on this level of demand. So you always want to be buying into demand zones and selling into supply zones and nothing in between. Everything in between is the fucking gray zone, and that is where you get yourself into trouble, okay? All right, guys, so exit plan from crypto. What should we do? Well, first and foremost, we need to understand this Bitcoin market cycle that happens literally every fucking time. Save this image right here and then go look at Bitcoin since its inception. And you will see this play out time and time again. So it's a very simple framework to follow right here, okay? And so it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to go like this exactly, but it's pretty damn fucking close and at least gives you some sort of framework to follow so that you can exit the market with some profits. And it's always so important that when you see prices going up, when prices are just like going crazy and your account's at all-time highs, start taking some profits, okay? Because none of these profits are yours until you sell. On top of that, I don't believe any of this shit is yours until you exit out of crypto as well and convert it to fiat, because it's not just a tangible asset. And if you have the money in your crypto trading account, when the bear market is here, you're going to continually be tempted to be buying the dip and fucking off when you should have zero involvement in crypto whatsoever. So what I think you should do, look at your account now. Maybe 2 to 4x it, like X, like multiply it by 2 to 4x, and take like half of that and think about tangible assets that you could be buying with that amount of capital that you can actually use in the real world, right? I took the last Bitcoin profits or crypto profits, and one, I bought another piece of land. I put a lot of it into building this villa that I live in now, and also I have the other 2 there, and I have 2 other pieces of land. My plan for this crypto cycle is I want to buy a condo in Bangkok. It's going to be somewhere between $1.2 to $1.8 million, the ones that I'm looking at. And that's my plan. I want to get enough money to where I can still have $1 million in my crypto trading account, but then have enough to go buy cash a brand new condo in Bangkok, because I spend a lot of time in Bangkok, and my girlfriend's actually from Bangkok. And that's what I would love to have. It's just a home there that's 100% paid for anytime I want to go there, because right now we do Airbnb and all this other bullshit. It's such a fucking pain in the ass. And especially they're not very nice, because I'm paying like 5 to 10 grand a month to stay at these places, and they're not mine. And it's just kind of annoying. So that's my exit plan. I want to exit with enough money to buy free and clear with cash, a 1.2 to $1.8 million condo. And I suggest you do the same, where you get rid of at least half your crypto at the end of the bull run and invest it into a tangible asset that you can use, whether it be real estate or a new fucking car or something. Because I promise you, if you keep it in your crypto account, you're probably going to lose that half that you would have been better off getting out of crypto in the first place and putting it into fiat, because it is so easy to lose money in the bear market, because also it's so tempting to continually get back in when there's still so much people talking all this bullshit about, listen guys, it's just a dip. It's just a fucking dip. Oh shit, it keeps dipping. Oh shit, the fucking bear market here. We're down 90%. I was wrong, right? So it's so important to exit out of crypto, convert to fiat, and go invest in something that's actually tangible and fucking real. Because crypto is not real. It's just ether, literally Ethereum. Okay. So I would prefer to see people go and do something with that money, such as buy a home, go fucking travel the world for a fucking year, buy a fucking Lamborghini, something that's not involved in crypto. And when you're involved in crypto, you're a part of an asset that has the ability to drop 70 to 90% in 6 months. Okay. Real estate doesn't drop 70 to 90% in 6 months. Cars don't drop 70 to 90% in 6 months. Okay. Travel, that money's just gone. Okay. But at least you have experiences and a lot of good time. I would say watches don't drop that much, but I bought a Rolex GMT2 at the peak of the bull market for $63,000 last bull, and now I'm trying to sell it for $38,000 and nobody wants to buy it. So I would say actually watches are a much better opportunity right now, because that GMT2 is at the lowest price it's been since the peak of the bull market. I literally just picked up this Audemars Piguet. I bought it used. This is a 2015. I bought it for $64,000. This was going for like 150 plus during the peak of the bull market right now. So watches might be a good investment right now. In fact, I have 3 for sale. Okay. I don't need them anymore. I just want one good watch. That's all I need. But anyways, that's my plan. Get out of crypto and buy something tangible that you can actually use. And the most important thing is get out of crypto, at least half of your portfolio, because it is so dangerous to hold. Okay. I lost $2 million on UST, partially why I bought another piece of land that I'm about to sell right now for $500,000. I had a bunch of money just sitting in USDC, and all of a sudden, USDC was collapsing and depegging. And I said, oh, fuck, man. I just lost $2 million by holding another stable coin. I can't lose more money on USDC. So I said, screw this shit. I'm getting out of crypto with this wallet that I had and bought a piece of land in Bali. Okay. So crypto is the most dangerous asset you can just sit on, because it's the only asset that can drop 70, 90%. It's also the only asset that can go up as high as it does, but you have to sell. And when you sell, rotate it into something fucking real. Okay. So that's my exit plan for crypto. I want to buy a fucking condo in Bangkok, and I think we can do it. We're well on our way there. It's only been 30 days. I'm already up $1 million. So let's see what we got shaking. But with that said, guys, you can see 84K on November 4th. It's now December 10th, all the way up to 1.4 million in just over 30 days. It's now about $1.2 million. And we haven't even gotten into phase 3 yet of Ether. So let's just take a look at the current positions that I'm in right now, okay? And talk about which ones I do think have a lot of upside potential, because I'm sure you want to be part of something big, right? So Super. I think Super has a lot of high potential, okay? We got in here Super at about 150. I have a massive fucking bag on this, right? I'm either gonna make $1 million on this or maybe sell it for break even. Like, this is my fucking go big or go home. I don't have a lot at risk because I'll maybe lose like 20 grand if I get stopped down on this. But if it goes to my target levels, I'll make over $1 million because I'm already in profits big. Stop has already been moved up into a good position. Right now I'm up $300,000 on this. I survived the liquidation event. I think this has a lot of upside potential. If we look at Super here, weekly chart, right? We are now potentially, here was the revival. Now we're kind of in a survival pattern breakout, but we haven't even gotten into forced pattern territory because this is ATH up here into supply zone. Now, if this did get up into that level, I would probably dump this position and make $1 million and then potentially reevaluate if it consolidated again and then formed up a force pattern. But I don't want to be in a position where it goes right into supply and then all of a sudden that's the peak of the bull market and I don't take advantage of that opportunity and then everything dumps and that's it. But right now, I would love to be taking advantage of this trade right here. If it gets up in that level, I'll wait and see if it has some sort of consolidation. If we flag again and then break out above 4, I will be another buyer of this. And I think we could go upwards of $5 to $8 per coin on Super. I'm also a big fan of Ton. I did actually just get stopped out of this on Ton, TON. This is the basically Telegram. I'm looking for another entry on this position right now. You can see that big liquidation event from 685 all the way down to 480 in just a matter of a couple of hours. I don't have a position on this, but we are in the potential works of forming up a forced pattern breakout, all-time highs, no resistance ahead. We have the base here. Price did actually come back into this demand zone. Again, this is the weekly chart, so we're looking at a little bit longer term time frame. Unfortunately, I got in right here, buying into this first test of demand, and then I stopped out for break even as I moved all my break even. I moved all my stops to break even as soon as Ethereum reached its supply zone at about 4K. And unfortunately, this one took me out, but I'm looking for a potential re-entry on Ton because I do think there's a lot of upside potential. Carve is another one that I do love the actual pattern. This was one that we actually stopped out of prior to the liquidation event, but then I actually got back in. You can see Carve here. We got a nice dip buy. Now, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about preparing for the liquidation events. You can see, where did price come into? Price came into an area of demand in this zone. You could even draw this whole thing as an area of demand right here. I had my buy order down here when price was all the way up here. Price spiked into that level, got my fill, rather than buying up here, of which I did, and then stopped out for even. I then re-entered in here on an area of demand, and that increased my probability of winning and gave me a much better probability of having a good risk reward for the next leg up if we actually do see that happen. AIOZ, I'm up pretty big on this, 157. We bought in this thing all the way down here at about 40 cents. So I do have an amazing cost average here on AIOZ, but if we look at the actual longer term chart, I think AIOZ has some huge upside potential. We can see this officially broke out. ATH here. It's now retesting the breakout zone. I think this thing's easily going upwards of $2 per coin. We could potentially come all the way back down into this demand zone down here, right? That would be an area to add on the dip if we spike all the way down in this area between 90 and 70 cents for the next potential leg up on AIOZ, upwards of $2 per coin. We also have, what else am I part of here? Big ones that I like. Swell, we just bought back into Swell. Swell, we just bought right back into weekly demand. We now have daily supply up here. So I'm looking for that weekly demand retest that we just bought into to come up here, form a forced pattern breakout for the next leg up, going all the way upwards of about 10 cents per coin on Swell. Again, that's only if we do see the actual forced pattern breakout on Ethereum. Ape, again, we bought into the demand zone here as price came all the way back in. I'm looking for that to continue to pump to the upside. Beam is another big favorite of mine. Beam, which is in the gaming industry. We have a nice entry on Beam as well. I've been holding this one for quite a bit. But Beam, I'm looking for a force pattern breakout on this, right? Coming into supply, yes, right now. So I'm not buying right now. I bought all the way down here. But we are now coming into weekly supply. And what I want to see here is price consolidate in this zone and form up a force pattern breakout. And from here, I think we could easily go up to 7 to 10 cents. That would be ideal targets for Beam. We have a great position on Beam right now. We're averaging at about 16 cents. We're up about 100%, currently up about 200K on this position. ACT is another one that I'm in right now. Price dumped right into this daily demand zone. So I do have my stop just below it. Hopefully this can turn into an actual force pattern breakout. I like the chart here. Bounce off this level, come up here, then rip all-time highs over $1. Target on this would be about $2 per coin on ACT. Deep is another coin that I've been watching. Now, I unfortunately stopped out of this the first time right fucking here because I was too big too early. I got in up here as it retested this demand zone and then started dumping, and then my stop hit right fucking here as I didn't want to see this thing fucking dump even more farther down, potentially down into this level. Down here, I would have lost way too much money. So my stop was in that level. And then unfortunately, it is absolutely shredded. But now we're forming up a potential force pattern breakout here, coming back into potential demand zones. And then I would love to buy down there if we get down there. If we break out over about 99 cents, this thing could easily go upwards of 15 to 20 cents on this actual coin for Deep. So I'm definitely a big fan of the chart on Deep. I love where it is in the cycle. Especially, we also have to factor in here, guys, that Ethereum is pending its actual breakout above its force pattern. So the real big move that could be potentially happening here on not only altcoins is that the move on Ethereum above 5K, that is going to be the catalyst for all of these altcoins to actually make the moves. I'm also waiting to get into Solana. I love the Solana chart right now. This is a long-term force pattern breakout similar to Ethereum, but this one actually is a little bit cleaner because we have the actual test here, actual test here. I'm gonna have an order open if it comes back into weekly demand for the actual force pattern breakout here, going to $300 to $600 per coin on Solana. But anyways, guys, that is kind of the framework for how I make money in the crypto markets. Okay, now I got a lot of things going on. I also have another course called Quantum Cipher, of which the Quantum Cipher report, I send this out every Monday and it gives you all of my actual positions that I'm in, when I open them, when I close them. And I also give you all my setups prior to them actually being opened, right? So if Ethereum, I'm not just like, hey guys, I bought Ethereum, you better fucking hurry up and try to catch this. The train's leaving. I'm saying, hey guys, Ethereum is at freaking supply here. If it comes down into demand, that is where we want to buy. We don't want to buy at supply. We want to buy in demand. And this is actually sent out the day before we actually saw the mass liquidation event in crypto across the board on all altcoins. Okay. So the Quantum Cipher report is going to give you these opportunities way ahead of time. And it's not just crypto. You have to understand that you have to be a multi-asset trader. I also do forex. I also own a prop firm called Hydra Funding, of which you can get access upwards of $200,000 in crypto funding or $1 million in forex funding. And it's very important that when this crypto market dies, that you're not forced and locked in to trade crypto, because crypto becomes extremely dangerous during the bear market. And again, like I said, you want to get money out of crypto, convert it to fiat and go put it into a tangible asset. And crypto is extremely cyclical. We get like once every 2 years to take advantage of these short-term gains, right? It literally is like a get-rich-quick scheme in the sense of it's just the pump only lasts for a very short amount of time, 6 to 12 months, and then everything dumps 90%. So it's a get-rich-quick, walk the fuck away from crypto and learn how to trade forex. Okay, so I also trade forex. I also send out forex signals, and I have a brand new course coming out that's going to be updated trading tactics on crypto, as well as full-fledged strategy on how to trade forex as well as futures, because it is a completely different kind of market, completely different price action, completely different strategy. Crypto's just the wild fucking west, but if you understand those market cycles, you can make a shitload of money. And again, guys, if you want to get access to the Wolfpack, where we have a great community, we have a bunch of students in here in the Wolf Wins channel, everyone posting gains on a regular basis. You can see on the actual landing page, we have like 40 video testimonials from students actually in here, enjoying the learning process, making money, and actually understanding the framework that I actually teach within the courses. You not only get access to the Discord, you get access to the Quantum Cipher report, you get access to 30 hours of training material, the Krypton altcoin mastery course, Decrypton, which teaches you how to make money in the bear market. You also get access to my full suite of TradingView indicators that really give you an edge over just generic ones that all the fucking retards and newbies use. Listen, anybody who's making money trading isn't using free trading indicators, right? You have to have an edge in the market, and to have an edge, you have to be looking at things in a different way than the masses are looking at it. And that's what my TradingView indicators are. They're an exclusive group of indicators that give you an edge of understanding and helping when you see things are oversold or overbought, and give you a little bit better gauge of your timing for entry. But anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe. We got a lot of things shaken for the bull market. We'll see how much money we can make. Again, I'm up at 1.2 million from, I deposited 220,000, dropped to 84K when everything dumped just before the Trump election. And then all the patterns then finally came into fruition because Trump winning the election was the actual catalyst for Ethereum to break out of that actual phase 1 revival pattern. And that's when we saw that actual move to the upside. Now we're potentially moving into phase 3 of Ethereum. Bitcoin's already in phase 3. Again, this video and framework is timeless. So no matter what bull market we're in, save this video so you can continually come back to it in the future and continually to make millions trading crypto. Anyways, guys, that's a wrap for today. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for your time.